Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me at the Christina Nelson Show, where we motivate, inspire, and heal. And tonight is no different. I have something special for you guys. Guess what? Last week or 2 weeks ago, I had a show on a staycation, right? And how we can stay home and still be on a little vacation, and we can do things while we're at home. We can pretend, we can relax. You can get many facials and many spa day treatments right in the comfort of your own home, because some of us truthfully cannot just get out. But tonight is a little different, because now I'm going to flip the script and I'm going to show you how you, yes, you in your wheelchair, yes, you in the cane, yes, you with the rollator or the walker can go on an actual vacation, not stay, but go somewhere, get out of the house, get on a plane, get on a boat, go somewhere fun, and still enjoy yourselves. And I have two people with me who are travelers, who know about the travel business, and we are going to talk to them this evening. And so I'm going to bring up Shenay M, and I'm going to, in a minute, I'm going to bring up Brandon Grace. But right now, I'm going to bring up Shenay M. Hi, Shenay.
Hi.
How are you?
I am doing excellent.
Good, good. So let's start off by saying, first of all, thank you for being here this evening and for joining us on this vacation travel experience that you're going to tell us about. And thank you. And so tell us about yourself. Tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do, and all that good stuff.
Okay. So first, my name is Shenay. So I guess I can start off with speaking about my diagnosis and when I was diagnosed. So I was diagnosed back in 2005. So probably a good, my math is not that great, maybe 19 years ago, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like maybe my junior year of college. And I was having all these weird symptoms, which led me to go get tested to find out what was going on. And that's when I was diagnosed. So in the beginning, I wasn't quite where I'm at now, which you see me in a wheelchair. I was still getting around, still very active and things like that until about 2013. I had like a really stressful event and I went to a relapse and never really recovered from that. And so here I am, but I'm still active. I still try to go to the gym regularly and stay on my feet. So to kind of preserve energy, I sit in my chair and I use that to kind of save my shoulders and everything else. But otherwise, I love to travel. So this is like right up my alley to speak about this tonight. I wasn't traveling as much as I am now. And the reason for that is because now I actually work for a travel agency. So it's funny because I didn't go to school for any of this. I actually ended up doing this because I was on disability. Well, I am on disability and I needed something to supplement. So I was doing other jobs prior to what I'm doing now. And they were more stress than it was worth, actually. I was working for an electric company, and we all know how those utility companies are. You know, people didn't pay their bills, they get cut off. Now you're the bad guy. And I was like the bad guy every day, and that wasn't working for me. So my uncle was having a quarterly family meeting where every quarter, some people in the family would come out and showcase their business. So my cousin had came on and she showcased her business, which is a travel agency. And so my initial contact for her was so I can plan my 40th birthday, but it turned into a whole interview. And before I knew, I was working for her. So the cool thing is her birthday is a few days before mine. And she's like, oh my gosh, why don't we just start making like a birthday trip every year? And I'm like, yeah, that's so cool. Like, because I didn't really have a lot of like travel companions or people to travel with. You know how it is when you try to get people together. They're like, yeah, I'm going to go. And then they don't make a payment, or last minute they change their mind. So then you end up canceling or just going by yourself. So that kind of sort of happened with this trip, to be honest. But I already knew that there was going to be a crew, because whenever she puts together something, it's not just like her or just us. It's like a whole crew of people. In fact, she's in Greece right now hosting a group trip, which
Oh,
I would have loved to have gone on. But because I just got back from Egypt, I'm trying to recover from that trip physically and financially. So my next trip is going to be in August. I'm actually going to go on a cruise. So, but yeah, back to how I started with her. You know, I started with her by just consulting her about a trip, which turned into an interview. And so from there, I went several different destinations with her. I went to Dubai last year for my birthday,
yeah.
um, which was amazing. I would definitely go back there. The crazy thing is, I hear about Dubai being so hot, which it was, but I didn't think it held like a torch to Egypt. I was like definitely about to faint. So what I can say, if you do decide you want to go there, is just to make sure that, you know, you have your cooling vest, or a cooling scarf, or one of those little fans or something, and stay hydrated, because those are all things that I didn't do. And yeah.
Oh no. Oh my God. I'm going to say, oh yeah, you must have had those things, right? No.
Those are
Uh,
all things I did not do.
oh
And I
my God.
learned from them. And I
Yeah.
want other people to not have to learn the way I learned. So yeah, make sure that you're doing those things so that you can enjoy your trip, because some of it I had to kind of like sit in the van with all the air conditioning on, because I couldn't really complete the expedition with everyone else, because obviously my body is not like everyone else's. So where they can withstand like direct sunlight, heat, and all that, I'm sensitive to it. So I just really couldn't hang as long. But those wonderful people in Egypt just really wanted to make this an exceptional trip for me.
Oh.
So even though like I had to cut some things short,
Hmm.
they made like a small version of whatever the other group was doing for me. So they brought
Oh,
the
how nice.
camels. Huh?
I said, oh, how nice.
Very nice. They're like, oh, you want to do camel? Because they were doing camel rides, but the camel ride that the group was doing was a little longer in the sun. And I wasn't up for that. It was like maybe a 20-30 minute ride. So they brought the camel to me. I did like maybe 10-15 minutes opposed to like a longer
Okay, let
camel
me
ride.
just show this picture real quick, guys. Look at this girl up on somebody's camel right now. Oh my
Yay!
gosh. Do you see this, people? All
So
right,
much
she's on
fun.
a camel. She is.
So much fun.
How did they get you up there?
So they brought the camel over to me and they made him sit. And the one guy, our driver, he picked me up and he lifted me onto the back of the camel. And then there's like this whole way of like how you sit for when it gets up so you don't like fall off. So you have to like lean forward. Then when it gets up, you lean back, and then like then you sit up and then it walks. But there was a guide. I don't know if there was a video that you might have seen from my page, but he was holding my ankle to kind of like, I guess,
Okay.
keep me there. And then that was it. Same thing getting off. They made him sit. I leaned forward, then back, and then they got me off. But it was very easy to get me on and off the camel. I'm just a very scary person. I know it's like, what scary? But
I
yeah.
totally get that part, because I would have been like, no, that's okay.
I was like, yeah, enough.
Like
Scared.
a camel, it's one thing to like get on a horse or something like that, because it's all like this. But the camel, you got the hump, you got all this stuff. I'm like,
Right, that part.
getting up on a camel right now. But like you said, they helped you out, and they were, you know, very accommodating
It's
for you.
very.
I want to talk about this picture here. What are you doing up in the water?
That was so much fun. So that was actually on the yacht. We went to the Red Sea. And so I wanted to get in this water, and that's something I wanted to do when I was in Dubai, but I didn't get an opportunity to. Partially fear, and part of it in Dubai, they're a little bit more, I don't want to say careful as if Egypt's not, but they're just like more like for safety reasons, you know, we don't want to do this.
And
But
they don't
there
want,
in
they
Egypt, it's
want to
like,
be responsible.
right. They're like, if you want to do it, we're gonna do it. Like, you know, we're
We're
gonna
gonna
make sure that you do it.
Yeah, because this
Yeah.
is, I don't know who this young man is, but he looked like he was like, let me help you out, mama.
He was amazing. So this guy actually, so he was our driver from beginning to end. He literally picked us up from the airport, took us everywhere we wanted to go the whole trip, even to the last day. Khalid, that's his name, Khalid. And everything I wanted to do, he made sure it happened. Like I would sit there and I'm like, well, don't worry about it because it's too much work. Not for him. Like he literally carried me everywhere. We went to these restaurants that like were rooftop. Some
Yeah.
buildings didn't have elevators. They did not have they're not really accessible there in Egypt because, you know,
Okay.
like in America, we have the ADA. So, you know, we're very
Yeah.
accessible here in America, you know,
Right.
but a lot of places have not adopted that, you know, the
Right.
Disability Act.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing I can say about Egypt that was a drawback. However, because of the people who I was with, it kind of did not exist to me, like the fact that things weren't accommodating because they made a way. So I forgot that, you know, until we got to talking, that it really wasn't accessible.
Okay.
Especially the restrooms. I've had some bathroom debacles that happened where there's like a little step up to get into the bathroom. So obviously my scooter wouldn't get in there. So I'm like, okay, well, you know what? As long as I can drive up, I can step up and go into there. Well, apparently not. I don't think I had the strength. So
Okay.
down I went, but I didn't fall. Like I kind of broke my fall because I knew I was going down. But they have bathroom attendants there, and the lady's just hysterical, crying, trying to lift me up, and I'm like, no, I'm okay. Like really, like I'm used to this.
Yeah.
Let me just, you know. But oh my gosh, the guys just came running in helping me, which was crazy because, you know, with Egyptians are kind of like Arabs and, you know, Muslims, and you know how it is with like women and men and things there. But all of that went out the window as soon as all this happened. Like, you know, they didn't make a big deal out of the guys coming in there to
Right.
help me and bringing me
Yeah.
in. So that was one of the things. And then the other time I had to use the restroom, all their restrooms are upstairs. Like what? That's crazy to me. But they carried me. They put me in like one of those chairs, like I guess that you would have on your patio, and they just carried me upstairs to the bathroom
Wow.
and like made it possible for me to go. So,
No,
you
that's.
know, those things help when you're around the right people. Or
Can I show a picture of the guy carrying you? I didn't know if you wanted me to show
oh,
that.
that's fine.
It's on your Facebook page, so I figured it's public, but I still want to be sure. So this is the guy. Look, he picked Shenay up. Well, you don't look like you know, weigh too much, but he got you. This is the same guy that had you. That's your driver.
Yes,
That's
this is
her
the same
driver.
guy,
That's
the
her driver.
driver. And he did for everything, every little thing we did. He was there. Like
Mhm.
we had the photo shoot, and the photo shoot was on the roof.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, how am I going to get up there? They had an elevator, but the crazy thing is you have to go upstairs before you get to this elevator, which is like pointless. But
Yeah.
so you have to go up these stairs, then there's an elevator, then you get off, and you need to go up a little bit more stairs to get to where you're going. So I told him, don't worry about it. It's hot. You've been doing stuff all day. We did ATVs. He's like, no, we're going to get you to the photo shoot. He carried me all the way to the roof.
Here's the ATV, right?
There's the ATV, which
I'm
was so much
showing
fun.
these pictures because I'm just kind of like, you wouldn't believe that Shenay does sit in a wheelchair. And like, if you see these pictures, there's a scooter you had. Okay.
Yes.
But if you see these pictures, like if I saw those pictures on a regular thing, I would never have said this girl has MS. She is sitting in a wheelchair. Never, because it just doesn't look like at all. It looks like you had the time of your life. And this is my favorite picture right here.
Aww.
The dress picture, like the infamous, like people take these pictures all the time when they go somewhere and
Right.
dress flying in the air. And I'm like, you got the picture with the wheel. You were
And the crazy thing is, I didn't want that picture at first. So my cousin insisted upon it. She's like, I paid for it, so you're going to take this picture. Because I'm like, this is going to look so goofy with me sitting. It only looks good with people standing. The dress is flowing and blah, blah, blah. She's like, no, oh my gosh, you're going to look so good in this picture. And I'm like, okay, she paid for it, so I'm not going to turn it down. I'm going to do it. And it came out surprisingly well. Like,
wow, it's beautiful. Very, very pretty. Very pretty.
Thank you.
Oh, you're so welcome. I'm going to bring Brandon up right now. Brandon, are you ready? I'm going to bring you in to the studio. You're in the studio now, so you got to show your face. There you go. Hi, Brandon. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Now, some of us know who Brandon is if you are in RHM. And a few years ago, we went to, we had a gathering in Maryland and he was there. We met him face to face. And so it was an honor to meet you. Let me just put these, Shenay, for you. Sarita Baker says, you go be great, girl.
Thank you.
Yeah, and then one, of course, said, "Whoa." She saw you on the camel, and another person said, "Warrior, you are." And
Thank
she
you.
Marla. She also said that it gives her hope. So
Oh,
yeah, yeah, yep. And then Marla, of course, to you, Brandon said, "Hey, B." So yeah, so Brandon, you got to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into this travel thing right here.
Okay, so MS for me started back about 21 years ago. I
Mm,
was a freshman in college. So I ran track. So I was an athlete, college athlete, got a scholarship, running track, and started having symptoms out the blue. Just every day I would warm up and just my body would just tingle, from head to toe, go away, tingle, go away, and it did that every day for like maybe the first 4 months of my freshman year, and then one day I kind of like just like fell out, and so, everybody was freaking out. They thought I was having an asthma attack, which I didn't have. I don't have asthma, and so my body was just buzzing and tingling from head to toe. Just buzzing and tingling from head to toe. It just went away. So, they didn't want me to run track. The way they wanted me to get clearance before I could continue. So I did all these spinal tabs and all this kind of stuff, and fast forward, I didn't get diagnosed right off, so I waited a whole year. Those same symptoms went away and they never came back. But I would like bend my neck and get this little, I forgot what it's called, but there's a term
yeah,
for it.
and you get
You
shock.
know, get the electric shock going down your neck. So that was the newest symptom. And so I finally got diagnosed with MS the next year. And from there, I still ran track, still went to
Oh
school
wow.
and finished school in like '06, I think. And that's when MS hit me again. I woke up and couldn't move. And so was in therapy for like maybe a whole, what is it, 2, 3 months, gained everything back. My hands have been tingling since then, nonstop. But I kind of like, I guess I'm used to it. So I don't realize it until I say
Yeah,
it. Then I feel it. Like, so now I'm feeling it. But like before, like, I don't even pay attention to it. And so from like '06 to 2012, kind of like around the same time as you. Um, I was good. I mean, I still had symptoms, but I was walking, working, regular life, giving myself a shot, doing everything 20-year-olds should do, clubbing, drink, like everything. Doing what I wanted to do. And then in 2012, I just started developing drop foot. Started falling, had to move back in with my parents, and by 13, 14, I stopped working. And so then I'm just at home chilling on Facebook, getting Social Security, trying to figure out life, taking my shots, going to therapy, getting these new symptoms, spasticity, and all this stuff, drop foot, weakness, and my friend hit me up. She was traveling. I'm liking all her posts. And she was like, are you going to get in this travel business and make this money with me, or are you going to watch me make it? And when she said that, it kind of did something to me. I'm like, watch you make it? Well, I don't want to watch you make it. I want to kind of get a little something myself. I'm only making $900 a month. I'm 30 years old, 29, 30 years old at this point. And I'm like at home with my parents who has 4 other children besides me, which are much younger than me. So, they're still in high school, about to graduate. I'm there. I'm graduating from college. I'm just like, what am I going to do with myself? So I joined this travel business, where you can make money and save money on travel by becoming your own home base travel agency, not knowing anything about it. So, people are asking me to book them stuff. I'm uneducated about it. Booking trips, still hadn't went on trips because I'm weak in the legs, can't walk. So I'm thinking you can't possibly travel. This is, I mean, you're gonna make some money with, booking people's trips, but a little extra change is what I thought. And so fast forward, almost 9 years later, I no longer live at home, as you see. I live on my own. I no longer received a disability. Um, Kind of gave my check back because I started making too much money. I have now grown a team of over 150 travel professionals around the globe. And it's just been life changing. I get to travel, I get to make money. I'm not, I mean, I still have a scooter and my walker right there, as you see. Still travel with a cane, walk with a cane, walk with my rollator, bought a walker. I mean, bought a scooter for like $3,500 a couple of years ago. But like my travel business has absolutely changed my life. I'm about to be this close from being awarded with my documented six-figure ring. So I'll be a six-figure income earner. And I'm just now focused on helping people like me who are on disability, who think that they can't make extra money, live the life of their dreams. And that's what I've been focused on doing, traveling and helping other people.
That's what's up. Wow.
That's awesome.
Like, I don't need y'all
Well,
disability.
well, the thing about it is, like, a lot of people ask me, "Well, you weren't scared to lose your disability?" I'm like, "Well, no," because in my mind, if someone gives you an unlimited income opportunity, they say this is an unlimited income, you can make how much money you want. It's up to you. Well, that means that I can make more than $900. Then, if I put my mind to it, I can make more than 900. And if I didn't know any, I was uneducated too. Like, I really didn't know that I could be doing this and make money and still get my benefits and all of that, because I still get benefits from the government. I just pay my premium.
Okay. That was going to be a question of mine, was like, do you still, like, how do you pay for medicine? How do you go for?
Yeah, that was the question I had.
Right. See, yeah.
So, a lot of people don't really know that they call it return to work, whether it's a 1099, whether you have a regular job that pays you like a W-2, whether you work for yourself and you get a 1099 in the year. The program is called work return to work. And so what the program does is it allows you to make an X amount of dollars for X amount of time. And so what I didn't know is that, let's just say, for example, the allowed amount for you to make without it being too much money is like $1,000 and $1,000 and $1,010 or something like that for the year. And that's across the board. And so let's just say the first month you make $2,000. Okay, well, that's month one. So what it says is they give you 9 months or up to 5 years to make over that amount consecutively, though. So what that means is if you don't make over $1,000 your second month, you make $300. Well, guess what? Your 9 months start over the next month because you didn't make that consecutively. So most people don't really know that because they think that they're going to lose their disability from even calling to ask a question. So I knew that. I asked my mom. I asked my mom had a friend who worked in Social Security, and she was like, "Well, they won't get mad at you for asking a question. You can ask all the questions you want." So I asked, and I was like, "Oh wow!" So many people don't even know. So many people think that they will lose their benefits from even asking. Because you have to prove that you are disabled. Number one, when you actually need the benefits. It's really hard to get disability, but most people don't even realize that they can call, they can ask questions, and it won't affect your money. And so that's what I did, and I hadn't looked back.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Shenay, I guess like you can become friends with him so you can find out a little bit more.
I know. Yeah.
Like, what?
It's like, what? I'm learning stuff. Like, okay.
Yeah. See, like there's a lot of things, of course, government doesn't tell you or people don't tell
Absolutely.
you. You just assume I can't do this. I can't make this much money and or whatever, whatever the case may be, because they're going to take it away from me. And although it may be only $900, so for some that $900 is
I needed that, right?
Right. So
right.
Ration it out. You live with people, you got to pay this, you got to pay that. So you have to have money, so,
right.
but to be able to know, because that was my biggest thing, was like, okay, you can make this much money, but what about your medication? What about, being able to go to the doctor and all that kind of stuff. And so that is very interesting.
And health insurance and, having Medicare.
So my thing is, I don't know if you call it ambition or what. I wasn't scared. I knew that I was diagnosed with this disease. It wasn't my fault. I didn't ask for this, and so whatever happens to the disability, if it happens, okay, I'll worry about that later. But the possibility of me being able to get off of disability, the possibility of me being able to afford whatever I want, the possibility of me being able to, okay, well, if I don't have insurance, I'll just have to pay out of pocket. The possibility of that to be possible for me was far more than me being on disability for the rest of my life.
Wow.
Mm.
And that was and it wasn't, and it I prayed about this. I was like, what I can't lose my disability. I can't do this. Like, God, please just show me the way. And I was going around, talking to people about this travel thing, trying to grow a team, getting rejected. People were like, I don't want to join that network marketing. I don't want to, it's a scam, and like, I had never been a business owner before. So people were side-eyeing me like, Brendan, please, And so this lady walked up to me maybe like 7 years ago, and I was in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and we had just did a travel party, and she was like, she came up to me, she was like, Brandon, I've been watching you. I watched you when you walked in. I watched you had a cane, and I just watched you, and something told me to go up. God told me to come up to you and tell you, to tell you something. But I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And it just kept on playing. I was like, okay, God, I'm gonna be obedient. And this lady came up to me and told me, Brandon, I don't know you, but God told me to tell you the struggle is over. And let me tell
All
you,
right.
since then, I have MS. And the saying MS doesn't have me is so cliche, but the fact that I don't have to stress about, I remember having to call Sprint every month to put on a payment plan. I remember having to worry about paying this and then paying this, just because $900, you have to stretch that out. You have to try to figure
Yeah.
out how are you gonna figure what to do. I thank God I didn't have any children, but my mom, they still had children that they were trying
Right.
to raise, and so I still had to try to figure out, okay, what am I gonna do? And she said the struggle is over, and my God, the struggle has been over. Like, it was God sent that my friend from middle school. That's why I thank God for Facebook, because like I wouldn't know you, Christine. I wouldn't know,
Right.
your husband. I wouldn't know so many people without the Facebook. I wouldn't even have the team of people, the people that I have on my team, because most of these people are complete strangers that I've met. Without Facebook, I wouldn't have reconnected with my friend from middle school, which would tell me about this business. And so it's just been God sent, and I'm
Wow.
just following his path.
That's
Amazing.
awesome. Oh my gosh. Wow.
Mhm.
So tell us, where have you been? Where have you been? Like, what places have you traveled to?
I have not traveled across the pond, like where, like that's my next goal. But I've been to like all the states, all the places in the states, of course. But I have been out the country to Mexico, like Puerto Vallarta, Cancun, a place called Ixtapa, Mexico. Um, of course, Hawaii. Florida. My next plan is to try to go to Dubai or somewhere across, because a lot of the times we don't know, but like people are so helpful. Like, I guess because they see you, like, okay, we're not old people, so they're looking at us like, golly, like, what's going on, So even
Yeah.
older people, they still help you. Like, even if you are older and you're in a wheelchair or you're using a cane, for some reason, it's like that they want to help. They people are so helpful, and so more
Absolutely.
than not, more people are helpful than not helpful. It's not 100% across the board, but people are so helpful, and even getting on the plane, like
Mm-hmm.
Carrie, like I went to a wedding 2 weeks ago in Mexico, and like it was on the beach. So I'm like, okay, now I'm riding my scooter, but I'm not taking my scooter on the sand. Like, it can't do that. And so like these guys carried me and put me in the chair, and like I went swimming the next day, and like just like doing all this stuff that I thought I couldn't do. It's like they was like, if you want to go, what do you call that when you glide down that thing, like on the,
Oh, woo! He did that, Brandon.
no, I hadn't did that, but I did go boogie boarding. Well, I put on this
What?
wetsuit. Yeah, I put on this wetsuit, and I had one guy here, And I'm like, I'm just limping, swinging my leg around.
Nice.
Swinging that stiff leg around, walking, holding that leg up. And so then they just take me out. They're like, okay, we're going to go out. And so then I turn around and I'm holding the board like this. And they like, I'm down like in the water with the board like this. And when the wave came, they're like, you ready? And the wave just came and I just went. And I just went all the way into the.
Wow. Oh, wow.
So
like,
nice.
amazing, like the things that people think that you can't do.
Yeah.
Like how our own brain like just plays tricks on us and like, oh no, you can't do that. Oh
Yeah.
no, definitely can't do that. You can't do that. Oh, that's no way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
That's why I wanted, both of you to come on here to show people or to tell people, yeah, you can. Tell us about the planning process as far as like getting your tickets, getting on the plane. What is it called? I know that you can call. I don't know if you have to call ahead. I don't know when you get to the airport and they take you in a wheelchair. Like, what process is that? Either one of you can answer that. What is that process like? You get on it, when you
like checking in, or like so usually when I book my flights, I usually do the special assistance with my ticket. So that way it's already like on my ticket. But because I use my scooter, I don't really need the assistance from the airport. It does help with going through security because then I don't have to get on the regular line. I don't have to get on the regular line anyway because of my scooter. But when I'm with one of the airport employees, I get through faster and I don't have to like take off my shoes sometimes. Now, what would help with that is global entry or TSA pre-check, I think it's called. So but global entry includes the TSA if you ever want to do that. And it gets you through a lot faster and you don't have to worry about, your shoes coming off and, taking your laptops out of your bags, things like that. And the infamous pat down, which I hate because I can't stand up. So I have to get pat down every time I go. But I'm working on my global entry. It's a whole process with the application and, having to get interviewed and things like that. But normally just simply, especially domestically, I'll just go online and I'll just do special assistance and it'll just ask, if it's going to be a wheelchair, a manual, or, like a scooter type wheelchair, you put what kind of battery you have and things like that. It's really simple. And then, when you get there and you get your ticket, your boarding pass is already on there. And normally with most airlines, you do board before everyone else. So that's a perk. That's one of the things I like about it.
The scooter. So you brought your scooter on the plane?
That was mine. Yeah.
Brandon, you bring it with you too, or?
So I have this scooter. I already put it up so I can show you guys. I have this scooter right here. It kind of folds up like a suitcase. So you see right there. And then it folds up like this.
Fancy.
So, yeah, I have
that. Is nice.
So,
right?
Yeah, his name is Scotty. Scotty the scooter.
Okay.
Because Scotty folds up, because even when I take Uber, I found, even when I was renting scooters, because before I got Scotty, I would just call and figure it out, because I'm a travel professional. So there's this place that rents scooters and bedpans and all this kind of stuff for people. They deliver it to you.
Oh, really? Okay.
I would do that. And so they would but I found out, I would have to get a cab, a van, so I can ride up into the van or
right.
That. Now with my scooter right now, that thing folds up like a suitcase, and most people can pick it up. It's 60 pounds, but if it's a female, or for me, it splits up into two parts. If you see right here, right there, it splits up. So that first part I can pick it up is 25 pounds, and then this part is 30 pounds. So I just split it up to pick it up if I'm not with anybody. So that's
wow.
Okay. See, I was under the impression that you couldn't bring a scooter. I've heard people bringing wheelchairs. First of all, I think my thing is I've heard of these nightmare stories about them mishandling wheelchairs and mishandling devices,
Mine
assistive.
was mishandled. That
Me
one
too.
actually was purchased by Southwest because they destroyed my first
Me
scooter.
too. American Airlines tore my first Scotty up last year, and they had to replace it. That's all. I mean, they replaced
What?
it.
Yeah,
They have to replace it. They either have to fix it or replace it, and most times they don't
exactly.
bother with fixing it, so they replace it.
Yep, same with
What?
me.
So I have a question here from Marla. She said, "Is it a light scooter?" Oh, I guess he just kind of. Well, Shenay has to answer too, but you just told her how the pounds, 25 pounds, and everything. That's not. It depends, like on what you can handle.
Yeah,
Some of
like
it.
Right.
my
Some of
cousin
it.
who has spinal bifida, she struggles with it just because she's shorter than me. She's like, but some women don't have a. It just depends. Like it just depends on your physical capability. But typically, if you are across the board, it's light. It's not
Okay.
more than 69 pounds, 65 pounds together. Separate is 15 and like 30 something pounds.
And Shenay, I imagine you
So
have people.
mine is probably around that weight,
Okay.
because like mine come apart. So the battery is the heaviest thing on that scooter.
Oh,
Everything else could be lifted up. Of course, when I went to Egypt, the driver picked the entire scooter up and put it in the van.
Exactly.
I was just like, whoa, mind blown. But it can come apart. So once you take that battery out, then like even my cousin was like putting it away and taking it up and everything. And she's female and it was nothing for her. But like, of course, with the battery on it, it makes it a little bit heavier. It's like bulkier. But the
yeah.
seat comes off, I guess the handle, you just screw it and it goes down and then you just pick it up and place it in there.
Okay.
I like his Scotty much better. I got to price that and see if it's, in my price range because I might have to get one of those. But the scooter I have is very convenient for traveling because one thing I don't like about the wheelchairs at the airport, they're not like you can't manually wheel yourself. So once you're in it, you're in it. And when they park you, that's where you're going to be unless someone else moves you. So it's good when you're traveling with other people, it's not a big deal. But when you're traveling by yourself, which I tend to do a lot, then I have to depend. I'm at the mercy of like the workers, or if someone's around me, I ask them if they can push me, which I don't usually like to do. So I like to have my scooter because it makes me independent. I can just roll around wherever I want to go, especially like at my destination.
See, that would, yeah, okay. I didn't know about that part with the wheelchair and their wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so with your scooter, you can be more independent.
Right.
They call you in now. Do they fold up the scooter for you, or do you say this is what you do? And is it considered carry on? Do they have how does that work? Like, how do you get onto the plane? Like, what do you do with that?
So
with me, go ahead, Brandon.
I'm sorry. So my particular scooter, I roll it all the way through, but I found out that when you don't have a wheelchair assistance and person with you, then it kind of makes it hard because like the people at the front gate or at the gate of the plane don't have time to really walk down there and help you. So it's always best to like have the workers, even if you're in your own scooter, have them walk with you. That like because you're still gonna fold your scooter up like you would a stroller if you had a baby. Fold your stroller up and then put it to the side, and the people from that work underneath the plane come up and get the stuff right there. So what I do is I roll out to all the way to pretty much the jet bridge to the door of the plane. Fold the scooter up, put this cover on it, and then if it's a bad day, I have them I get in the chair and they roll me to my seat in this what's called a wheeled aisle chair. It's a narrow chair that's small that can fit in the aisle of a plane, and you just get on that, or I'll just walk and hold onto the chairs. Usually I sit in the front. So what I wanted to tell you also too, I don't know if you guys are aware of this, but if you fly like on a plane like Spirit or Frontier, like flights that cost you bags or charge you seats, then you don't have to pay because the Americans with Disability Act will protect you from that. So what you do is you just book your flight without seats, without bags, and then you pick up the phone and call the customer service number and tell them that you want you have multiple sclerosis and you are trying to get a seat, and they already know that is covered under the American with Disabilities Act. And so usually they have the fourth row reserved so that you don't have to pay for it. And if the fourth row is already taken, they'll put you in the third row or the fifth row. Either way, it's at the front of the plane, so that if you have trouble walking or if they have to get you a wheelchair, it's just right there in the front. You don't have to pay for it. And bags, if you have like for me, like I always have like my medicines in my bag. So if your medicine's in your bag, then you don't have to pay for the bag. So I always put medicine in my bag, whether I'm taking it or not. It's my medicine prescribed to me. So those are just little ways that you can get
now
around.
that's good to know, because I didn't know that part.
Yep.
So what did you do, Shenay? Like how did you, because you say you traveled by yourself. So what did you do? You had the scooter. And
so like Brandon, I drive up the jet bridge and I drive to the door of the plane, and I'm usually with like one of the airport employees that walk with me, and I always most of the time get the aisle chair. So they'll transfer me from my scooter to the aisle chair and roll me in. I usually sit in the front because with Southwest, they don't have assigned seats. And of course, with this disabled travelers, you get pre-board. So then we get like that front row. So that's usually where I sit, like usually United, American, and those are, and Delta. Those vary, but I always get on first, but I'll get like the aisle chair and I usually get the aisle seat. And then because I travel with my scooter, I have to bring my battery on board. So usually one of the workers will carry it for me because it is pretty heavy for me, and they'll put it overhead and then they'll fold up my scooter and put it under the plane. But I gate check it because I don't want it to go straight to my destination, especially if I have like layovers. I want it to go wherever I'm going so that when I get off, I still have a way to get around to where I need to go, especially if I have a connecting flight. I need to get to that next gate. I can't, sit and like wonder how I'm going to get there. I need to just get and go.
Okay.
So that helps me a lot with that.
I had no, wow, you educating us, because like I've always wondered about that. Like, just as silly. Okay, there we go. We're back.
Okay.
But desiring to go somewhere and saying, how will I do that? How will I get there? Oh my gosh, So this what Mimi Childs, I forgot Mimi. I know you know all about the traveling. She says, great job, guys. Awesome information. Traveling with MS is so much easier than what people really think. You get first class treatment. Yeah, you do. And I've seen that because I was listening. I was talking to my daughter. She also says, always gate check. I was talking to my daughter. She was at the airport and she was about to board, but I heard them say, those with disabilities, please, get ready to board. And I was like, oh, okay. So she was like, yeah, everybody, they're going to go on first. And I was like, okay. Oh, all right. I see. But I had no idea about, the transferring into the chair and going down, getting in first, the first couple of seats. And that is really interesting. And the gate check, I will always remember that name, gate check. Gate check, so it can go.
And like longer distances, like international flights, because of course they're longer flights. My main concern was like the restroom, like having to get up and go to the restroom because I don't use that bad. And I'm like, I need to know, I need a plan. Like, how am I going to get there? How far am I? So usually when I book, I try to make my seats close. So either it's like 1 to 3 rows behind me or 1 to 3 rows ahead of me. And then the flight attendants are very friendly. The ones that I've had so far, they'll like say, if you have to use the restroom, they'll bring the aisle chair and they'll help me stand up, even though they're technically like not allowed to assist you in that way. I'm good with standing up and down. It's just like getting there. So once they get there to the restroom, I'm able to get in and out and do what I need to do. But that's usually my biggest concern because being by myself, it's like, okay, who's going to take me? But the flight attendants are wonderful. In fact, they told me they were so proud to see me traveling by myself, with the disability. And I'm like, I just want to go and get away and, go out. But it's great, to have that help and to get the accolades. But Usually when I'm flying internationally, those are the things that I look for on the seat maps when I'm booking, to make sure everything's convenient, and extra leg space too, because a lot of times it's very cramped. Like the last flight that I took, and I went on Air France, the seats, oh my God, and I'm tall, I'm very tall. So I felt like my knees were like in my chest.
Wow.
So I will definitely invest in extra leg room next time I fly internationally, just to give me that space. Because
I
that's
was
too
like,
long.
you didn't like, you weren't like one on an hour and a half flight. You're tall. Brandon's tall too. How tall are you, Brandon? Like 6 something.
Like 6'1", almost 6'2".
Yeah. And Shenay, how tall are you?
And I'm 5'9".
Are you? Okay. You're a tad taller than me. I didn't know that. Okay. Wow. Wow. See? And yeah, see that for me, extra leg room would be a must, because
You
my
need that.
numb if I'm sitting in a position too long. So that's why sometimes if you're watching, I sit and I'm shifting, because I need to like move my legs, because they get numb and I have to like move them in order to
It's too long to be sitting like that. Like to be, and fortunately on my way back from Cairo, or no, from Paris actually, I had a whole row to myself. Like I don't even know how that even happened. I thought it was like a fluke. I was sitting there praying, like, please don't let anybody. And they were closing the doors and they were doing their little speech. I'm like, yes, yes. I had the whole row, and I picked up the little arm thing in the middle and I just laid straight across. It was beautiful. I loved it. It was wonderful.
Nice. Here, we have a question, guys. It says, what type of luggage do you travel with when you're alone? That's a good question.
So
I have regular luggage. Yeah.
So did the person that you have with you in the airport, they carry your luggage? Is that what happens, or?
Yeah. So normally I'll have someone drop it off for me, like my dad and my sister bring it into the airport. Once it's in there, then, the people at the counter, they'll take it and they'll check it in there, and I'll have my carry-on on my lap. And then that's it, like until I get to the next destination or my final destination. And then the porter is there to help me with my bags and things like that.
Like the rolling type of luggage, or?
Yeah.
Okay. You too, Brandon? Or you?
So every time, I don't give myself enough credit, but I'll be doing it. I'll travel by myself so much. And so I don't my doctor tells me that my spasticity helps me. It's kind of like a kickstand. It kind of gives me a little bit more stability, because my muscles are so weak, but because of the spasticity of the locking of the leg, it kind of like you stand up, your leg locked. So I literally take my time, wobble on the side of the car, get the thing out, open the scooter up, get the luggage out, sit it up, get my backpack out, raise the seat up, put it under there, sit down, and one hand's on the scooter and one hand's on the luggage, and we go on the luggage is gonna roll, because it's the rolling luggage. And so that's how I do it, And once I'm in, of course, people help me, but I do everything by myself pretty much, just because it's the convenience of the scooter coming apart. So I just take my time and get each part out, get my backpack out, put it under the scooter. And then I have a walker too. So I have my walker with me, so that when I'm in my hotel room or wherever I am, I can still walk around. So I have the walker in between my legs, upside down. Not the rollator, but the regular old school walker. Yeah, I have that folded and that'll be in between my legs, upside down. Backpack's underneath. The suitcase is in this hand rolling, and then this hand right here is with the button, and I just go like that. And so
I bring my walker too. I'm glad you mentioned that, because to get around in my room, I don't want to bring my scooter around for everything. So to use the restroom or to go to the shower, whatever I'm doing, the walker aids me in that. So that's very convenient to have on hand, because not all the time do you want to use your scooter or wheelchair when you're trying to get around and do things.
Yeah.
So the walker is definitely a good thing to bring with you as well when you're traveling like that.
And you can check.
Okay, that's great.
You can check the walker too, and just like just like a stroller, and sometimes they'll let you even check it in the beginning with your luggage, and
Nice. Nice. That is, I like that. I like that. I was going to ask, do you bring the walkers too? Because I would need like my walker plus a scooter. Like just,
Yeah.
you want to walk around. She says, thanks for the
Right.
information. Yep.
Yep.
Marla checks her roll later. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I would think that you would need something like that. Now I've heard of people, and the reason why I asked about the scooters initially is because I've heard that there is a program where you can order like a scooter or something like that, and it will be at the next at your destination. Like for example, if I'm staying at the Hilton in Florida, I go blah 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 blah, and I get to Florida, and then there'll be a scooter for whatever company they're waiting. That's what
You can order that. You can do that. So when I was going to Jamaica, I was debating on doing it because the transportation company that we were using said they didn't have a vehicle large enough to carry like all the luggage plus my scooter and all of us that were going. So they're like, you know, it's probably a good idea if you just rent a scooter, and that way, you know, just come with your walker, whatever assistance that you need, and then when you get here, you'll have one waiting for you. And it was a good idea, but that price was not. When I'm like, absolutely not. When I have my own scooter, that's just not going to work.
Yeah.
So my cousin, she spoke with another transportation vendor, and they were able to find a vehicle large enough, you know, for the luggage and the scooter and things like that. And we broke the group up. So instead of all of us trying to fit in one vehicle with all of our things, we just broke it up so that some people got in this vehicle with their things, and then, you know, vice versa. So with the other vehicle, they didn't need as much because they didn't have like, you know, the things that I had, like my walker, my scooter, plus my luggage. So we were able to comfortably get everything in there, and, you know, I could bring my scooter along. But that option was available to do the rental, but per day, I just could not eat that cost when I had my own scooter. Well, per day was like, I think it was either $70 or $75 each day.
Per day.
And I was going to be there for 6 days. And I was just like, well, and then you had to pay the delivery fee because they were bringing it from Montego Bay to Negril. So that was $120 on top of the daily rental. And I was like, no, I have my own scooter. I'm just going to bring it.
I would think so. Wow.
Yeah. So we just made it work because I went by faith because they told me they didn't have a vehicle large enough to do that. They're like, we don't have a drive on. Like, they don't have a vehicle we drive on. I'm like, that's fine. I don't need to drive it onto the vehicle. I just need to be able to put it on the vehicle. And because it comes apart, you know, it won't take up much space. And it didn't. So it worked out.
Okay. Brandon, you had a similar experience. Did you ever rent
when I did used to rent the scooters, they would just, like I said, just like either I would Google is your best friend, so I would just Google accessible scooters, delivery scooters in the area, and then they would just bring it. Most of the time, they just brought it to me, delivered it.
Okay. When you got there,
But the only thing about those scooters are nowadays, because they are making smaller scooters that are lighter weight and more accessible. These past couple of years, I'm finding out even renting the scooters, more of them are smaller, compact, that can fold down and you can put in cars. But like 4 years ago, they were only had the scooters like that you can only like. It has to be a ramp on the van, so you can roll it up and just be in there, you know. So, but now it's a lot of different things that are out there as far as different companies and different models that are available for rent.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Very good information, guys. My husband says, what's your next trip?
Cancun on Thursday.
Thursday, y'all. He's going somewhere Thursday.
Oh my gosh.
He didn't say.
Mine is in August.
Hers is in August. And where are you going?
I'm going on a cruise. I'm going to Nassau, Amber Cove, and Grand Turks.
Nice. What cruise ship?
Carnival Mardi Gras.
Nice. Okay.
So my husband and I have been watching these vloggers who go on cruises and everything. They're not disabled, but we still watch them. We watch multiple ones to get a different point of view from each of them. And so it's really interesting to see than people getting on. And every time we watch one, you see over in the corner somebody in a scooter somewhere, and they're all just you see multiple scooters everywhere. Just traveling. And I was like, see, look, they got, you know.
When I went on my first cruise, I was so like nervous just because I didn't really know what to expect. I didn't know how many people I were going to see. But oh my goodness, those people be on those scooters like you have to get out the way because they feel like, like it's a lot of people. Like it's like
I'm one of those people. I'd be to ram somebody over.
Yeah.
That
I put it on top speed. I literally
be gone, right? Like move,
yeah.
Get out the way.
That's me.
Yes, my husband said we need some MS travel vloggers. We do. I don't know anybody like, you know, that is going to, you know, well, Shenay has lots and lots of pictures, but just, you know, people who are going to, you know, vlog everything to say what's going on at that particular time. Brandon, I didn't see too many pictures of you. I just saw, wait, let me see. I saw a cruise ship, so I assumed that's something you went on at one point. Yeah. And then Brandon looking longingly with his bathrobe out on his deck. I know. That's on the flyer if y'all didn't see it.
That was on Carnival.
Japanese Suite. Just doing it.
Yes. Like you just all lonely, just looking out like this is me. This is my life.
I aspire to like show more of what it really looks like. Cause like you said, you wouldn't know that you wouldn't know just looking at me with the pictures that I take and just looking at my Facebook page. So I want to be like my inspiration. I want to be more transparent about, you know, what it really truly looks like when I travel, you know, like from showing them, you know, how I get my scooter, how I fold it out, you know, like, dang, that's what it looks like. Cause you know, it's not easy. But I can do it.
It's not.
You should like one of you, like at least one time, you know, go through your experience and how things are done. So people can like really get a look at how it's done, like your school. Because people get intimidated.
Yeah.
People get intimidated. They don't want to go because they're afraid to go, but they have to see someone do it. And oh, really? Like I've seen Mimi Childs in different islands and in different things like that, and I always was like, how did she, I wonder how that was. I wonder how she got there and how she did with it. And she just says, "That's me going through the airport. Move, move, get out, move."
Yes.
Yeah, she said she is so proud of y'all. Thank you. That is awesome. Mimi's another one who travels, and so she has no problem traveling. So I'm sure she knows the ins and outs and the ups and downs of getting there. And, you know, also she was also diagnosed with MS. So I just wanted people to see what it's like and people to know that it's possible for us. We can do this, y'all. We can just maybe start off by going somewhere, you know, like maybe in the United States, like, you know, but take a trip, you know, like if I'm in New Jersey, so maybe I'll go to Florida or Georgia or something like. Maybe I'll go to Georgia and I'll see Shenay and be like, "Hey, girl, come on,
come on to the A."
Shenay is from Jersey first, y'all. So I got she's a Jersey girl at heart.
I am from the Garden State, born and raised.
Yes, actually from the same town, same hometown.
Yeah.
So, Lakewood, yes, we are from the same hometown. So she's a little younger than me, though. She's a little younger.
I miss it. I haven't been to Jersey since 2008, so it's been super long.
Oh my gosh! Oh, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Oh wow! Well, you've been gone a
long time because you know I transitioned from Jersey to Virginia because I went to college in Virginia, so I stayed there for a little bit, and then even after I graduated, I stayed there, and then I ended up moving from Virginia to Georgia.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I found it interesting that you guys had your symptoms. You were both in college.
I know, right? Yeah. And the crazy thing is, I felt like I had the symptoms before college because I noticed some things, but I just discounted them as other things. Like I love to dance. I took dance. I ran track as well, but I ran track in high school. And I noticed like trying to bend or trying to get into the start position, I would get down, but I couldn't get back up. So I'm like, that's kind of weird. And then trying to do like stretching, I would get stuck in like a position And just little things were just happening, but I would just ignore them until one day when I was in school, I was trying to write and the pen just kept falling out my hand. I couldn't write, and I'm thinking that's
Wow.
pretty weird. Yeah, so that's like one of the things that made me get checked out. And I got the buzzing too that he speaks of, like when you bend your head, it's like this little weird sensation. So then, finally the night before Thanksgiving, 2005, I got the call that that's what it was after some MRIs, that it was MS. But it's still so surreal, even though it's been years. It's hard to believe that I'm disabled because of how active I used to be and still try to be. But I was very extremely active. Like even now, it's still a shock to a lot of my friends I went to school with, and like some family are like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe you're in a wheelchair." And I can't either. Okay, I'm still in.
How you think I feel?
It's crazy
I
that you say
can't
that.
either, and like it's hard to see myself like that. But to kind of like still move on with it, I still try to live life as my normal as possible. Like, I almost did not go to Egypt because, like I said, it was hard trying to find people to go with. So I was able to meet up with like some family and friends, but they were coming from other destinations, from like Los Angeles and San Francisco and things like that. So they had a group that was coming from that destination. I was the only one coming from Atlanta. So I was just like, okay, God, how am I going to do this? Because I don't have no help, and I got bags, I got a walker and a scooter, and we just going to have to figure it out. But it worked.
But you did it. That's
I
what's
did.
up. You did it.
I'm so glad that I did, and I almost didn't. And everything that I thought wasn't going to worked, because I'm like, well, I'm wasting my money because I'm not going to be able to do no excursions. But how about I did everything? The camel, the ATV.
I show that one more time for the people who just arrived. Look at this girl.
That was so much fun.
She is up on a camel, y'all. On a camel.
Wow.
Yes.
That trip was a blast. It really was. Like,
this is her in the ATV. And
yes. Fun. Like
doing it. Like you were doing it.
I was in the Red Sea.
The Red Sea. Where's that? Oh,
everything. Like it was just amazing. That trip was like the best of all of my trips.
Yep, she's in the Red Sea. How was the Red Sea? Is that I was thinking Dead Sea. How was, because what is the one that they say you just float? That's not the Red Sea. That was
I mean you can, and the reason for that is because of the salt content.
Right.
The Red Sea is really, really salty, and that's because it doesn't have like an outlet.
Okay.
So it kind of like it's concentrated. So the moment they pushed me into the water, and I asked them to do that, they didn't just like push me, and I'm like, I can't jump off like everyone else. So I said, can you just push me in? And I went in for a moment, and like my eyes were on fire, my mouth, I was choking like all this salt.
Oh.
So it is very, very, very salty, but I was floating. Like you saw me on my back, just floating along. They say it's very medicinal because of the salt content.
Yeah, I remember that.
I felt good in it. It wasn't cold. It was like room temperature, if that makes sense. It was very, very nice. I enjoyed it. I could have stayed in there for a long time, but we only had a certain amount of time on the boat. So, we had to hurry along, but it was a very, very nice experience. I could see down to the bottom, which was cool, but a little scary too, because it's deep. But the fact that I can like see like the floor was just amazing, because in our oceans, Atlantic Ocean, it's like murky and dirty looking and dark, and you ain't seeing nothing in there. So with the Red Sea, it was absolutely beautiful, like just breathtaking. You could see the little minnows swimming around and the rocks on the bottom. It was just really, really nice. I enjoyed it. I would do it again, like tomorrow if I could. It was really good.
Right. And Brandon, what about you? And did you have any more to say?
Oh, well, I mean, traveling has absolutely changed my life. I absolutely love it. I can't wait till like I go, like hearing her story. I know now for sure I am going over the pond, like to Dubai, Egypt, Paris, all of that's on my bucket list. And I'm just gonna really be trying to help other people realize that they can travel too. They don't have to like sit around. And like you said, Christina, like, start off in the States, go plan a trip to Vegas, even if it's like not right now, it can be months out, but just know that you can plan it. You can plan and pay 25 here, 25 here, 25 here, 25 here, 25 here.
Okay.
Your trip's paid. Like you don't have to just not go just because you don't have the lump sum of $500 right now.
Absolutely.
Take time and say, hey, I want to go to Vegas next March. Let's plan it now. And you can literally start now, put the down payment down, and boom, the hotel is booked. Hotel may not be available to book. It just depends on how far it is out, but just know that you can plan. And so my goal is to either help you see that you can make money by booking it yourself, or allow me to help you book it for you, and help you, travel. So that's my focus now, just to help more people like me, people not just with MS, but with all disabilities, realize that they don't have to just rely on a single source of income, and they don't have to just not go anywhere.
Wonderful. Whoa.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. That is awesome. Wow. I am so excited. I can't wait to try to book something and see what happens. Just do that. It may not be Dubai. It may not be, Patty, but it might be like Florida.
It would be come down to New Orleans or something,
Yes.
Right.
Absolutely.
Where are you? I forget.
You had me at Vegas. And it's funny because I was just talking about that today. I was like,
Vegas.
I don't like to go during this time of year because it's like way too hot.
Yeah.
But definitely Vegas is definitely a destination that I enjoy.
Yeah, me too. I've been to Vegas a couple of times. That was one of my first trips. Vegas. I went to California one time. Denver, Colorado. Those are my first trips, like as a travel agent, as a travel business owner, like where can I go? And those are my first trips. Simple, planned out, took some months to plan it out and just went. So for sure, Christina, y'all can definitely go somewhere.
Definitely. Now, where are you from? I didn't hear you say, where are you now? Where do you live?
I live in Houston.
Oh, okay. Okay. Oh, it's hot. Ooh, it's hot there.
It's so hot. It's so uncomfortable. Like
that's one place I want to visit. Houston.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I heard the barbecue there is amazing.
Oh, now the food, all the food is good. Like everything is from seafood to barbecue, soul food.
That's why I need to get there because I'm a foodie. I love food.
Awesome. Okay, so let me ask first. I'll ask Shenay, how can people get in touch with you, or if they want more experience, if they want to talk to you, how would they get in touch with you?
So my social media, Facebook is Shenay M. So I forgot to put the M on my little thing down there on my name. But yeah, Shenay M. Another way is on my Instagram, which I document a lot more on my IG. And it's Ms. Sophisticated, but it's not spelled the typical way you would spell it. So maybe I could put that in the chat, like how it's spelled.
Yeah, so go ahead. What is it? Miss or
Ms. So MZ S.
Oh.
Yeah. So Ms. Sophisticated. MZS OPHIKATED.
Okay. Hopefully that's what it said. Miss Sophisticated. I put it in there. Okay. Yeah, I got it. All right. So everybody, that's who she is, Ms. Sophisticated. I remember. Now you got me thinking, when we were little, there was this song, they were like, sophisticated lady. Like one of them like little hand job claps.
Right. That's funny. I don't even know where I came up with that name. You could tell that was from a long time ago because I'm where did I come up with that? But yeah, I just never changed. I was just lazy, but that's what it is now.
Okay, that's fine. Here, I'll put it up here, guys, so you can see it. Miss Sophisticated. Yep. There we go. Yes. Miss Sophisticated. Yep. Good. Okay. Marla said that Brandon, her family's from moving to Houston in February. Oh, wow. Yep.
Oh, cool. It's different from up north.
He's like, just fair warning, it's different. This ain't no, you don't get.
I would love to get Brandon's contact information.
Yes, Brandon, what's your contact info?
Okay, so my name on Facebook is Brandon Grace, not my Grace, but God's Grace, but Brandon Grace. And then my Instagram was hacked, so I had to kind of like restart it. I was so mad, but now my Instagram is Living Beyond the MS.
Okay, like the whole word living.
Living Beyond THEMS. And then my Facebook is Brandon Grace.
Okay. Living Beyond MS.
The MS.
The MS.
Mm-hmm.
Living Beyond. Did I spell beyond right? Okay.
Let me wait a minute. While I'm
Living Beyond the I don't know. I don't know if I'm spelling it.
That's not it? Oh man.
That's terrible how I can't spell right now, but
it's new.
y'all know how it is. Okay, here we go.
I know how it is.
Right now, I'm like, how do I spell this? Is that it right here, Brandon? Living Beyond the MS.
Yes. Mm-hmm, that's it.
Here we go. Living Beyond the MS. That is Brandon's Instagram. I forgot to say this is Instagram stuff. So the Instagram. So we have Sophisticated Lady with Shenay, and then we have Sophisticated Lady, Ms. Sophisticated, and then we have Living Beyond the MS with for Brandon. IG.
And then Facebook is just my name as you see it, Brandon Grace.
Yep. Wow, awesome. Woo! Well, I appreciate all of this. I learned so much, and it actually really encouraging to hear you guys talk about this. Like I'm encouraged. I'm like less fearful now and less like anxious about it. Oh, I can do this. We can do this. I probably just need to get one in just to get over this.
One in, just get
one.
Yeah.
I did travel with a cane, but I didn't know anything about getting, people to help me I remember I went to George's airport.
Mm-hmm.
It's humongous.
It is. It is ginormous.
It is so big. And I remember walking and I had my cane and I was just so exhausted by the time I got to my gate. And I was like, I didn't know anything about, being able to get a chair or anything like that. If I understand what I know now, then I probably would have done all of that, but I didn't. And I suffered the consequences.
Oh, it's long. And even with the plane train, it's like you still got more mileage to walk even after getting off that. So definitely I would encourage, especially at Atlanta's airport, definitely get the wheelchair service. It's a lot of walking.
It was hard. When we got there from New Jersey, when we got off our gate, we had to get out. We had to go get a car rental. It was a lot.
Yeah.
Like, why am I doing this to myself?
Yes, it is a lot.
Yeah, but yeah. So thank you guys so much for doing that. Thank you, Mimi. Great show. She said, thank you so much. And thank you for all of you who watched tonight and who are going to watch the replay. Share it, all your pages so everybody can see what happened tonight. And once again, I just thank you guys so much for being on here and talking about your experience and traveling with a disability with MS. Whether you have MS, whether you have any type of disability, you can go. You can do
definitely.
This. Absolutely.
Do it. So I'm encouraged once again, and I hope you guys that were watching were encouraged as well. Okay. So anything you have to say before I go?
Oh, just thank you so much.
Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it. It's a pleasure meeting you, Brandon. I enjoyed the show tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. I enjoyed it.
Awesome. Wonderful, guys. All right, guys. Have a great day. Have a great night, rather. And
Thanks,
everybody
bye.
have a great night. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.